Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to move on now to who is essentially our host today, National Museums of Scotland, I'd say one of Europe's biggest attractions.
Yes. Let's go with that.
Rob, up to you.
One of the advantages of having a 7-year-old son is that you can attend Pokemon Go nights and have an excuse for being there. So I was actually at one of the second zoo event, which I loved, and it felt a bit like an episode of Black Mirror in certain respects, but it was great fun and I loved it. So this is me. I'm part of the digital media team at National Museum Scotland, and on Friday, 8th of July of this year, we opened 10 major new galleries here to coincide with the museum's 150th anniversary, and also a new piazza on Chambers Street, otherwise known as a larger pavement, but it's a great new space out the front. Is that one not working? Let's try that one. Yes. So this project was a massive project started about 4 years ago, and it ended up with 4 new fashion, art and design galleries. As Alex said, who doesn't like a bit of material or a bit of fashion? And it also included 6 new science and technology galleries, which are just over there beyond that wall, with the aim of establishing us as a major centre for science engagement. So there's just some stats just showing the kind of vastness of this project. It involved a £14.1 million investment. It's multifaceted. My team, the digital team, had control over certain aspects, but it involved nearly every department in the museum. And some of our aims were to put objects on display for the first time for generations. Others were to reveal our collections in new ways, and also to increase the interactivity and engagement within the museum space, to do galleries in a slightly different way, and to change the experience of galleries. And my team's challenge, and the challenge of the museum, was also to how can we use digital tools and content to achieve that aim. So there's some more stats here, but I guess I'm interested in this one. There's over 150 interactive exhibits in these 10 galleries, and everyone loves pushing buttons in museum spaces, and there's lots of mechanical interactives. So there's hot air balloons that rise up, there's some beautiful Victorian working models, there's a human-sized hamster wheel, which you saw at the start, but there's also digital interactives, so that's big, large AV screens, there's a whole range of touchscreens with interactive games, and there's a whole suite of digital labels, things that we call digital labels. So contrast to text labels, they're digital labels, touchscreens that combine text, image, and video. So I'm going to focus on that suite of digital content that we put into the museum. And for me, it's easy to say, well, let's put some touchscreens in, but actually, digital has to earn its place in any space. On a basic level, digital was there to complement the traditional means of communication, so the text labels, the story panels, but we felt that digital needed to add something new, and that could mean essentially enhancing the visitor experience in new ways. It could reveal new perspectives, so we could have videos, there's lots of video content of the objects on display being used, or lots of people telling stories about the making of objects. It can add fun and activity, so these are some of the screenshots from some of the games that are in the galleries. It can obviously provide new context and depth for lots of informal learners, and ultimately provide new knowledge and learning within the space. We've done some user research actually on certain projects, and visitors have fed back they don't just want more information. Because of Wi-Fi, because people have phones in their pocket, they know where to find more information. They can go to Wikipedia, they can Google stuff in the space themselves now. So it's not just about giving people more information. We were quite lucky that at National Museum of Flight, which is out in East Lothian, we launched 2 new hangars in March, and actually this is a good test bed for this kind of network of digital labels. There are about 30 in here telling human stories of the planes on display through, again, pictures and text and lots of video content there. But this project was a bit more complicated. There's different types of touchscreen, different types of templates. There's single video, which are kind of fed through a tiny little bright sign player, just sending one video to a screen. There's these single stories where you scroll through lots of content. Then there's these other templates with the multiple stories kind of bring in a wider theme. This is one on Dolly the Sheep, so there's different chapters you can choose, each with its own story. And then there's bespoke interactive elements as well. So this is the Triumph of Prudence big tapestry, which is about as big as a screen. And this, I think it's about a 50-inch touchscreen. Visitors can come up and explore that tapestry and see the different characters throughout. So there's a whole range of different kind of touchscreen and different formats. I thought I'd just give a little bit of behind the scenes. How is this set up? This is kind of safe tech. It's not, we've talked about VR, we've talked about mobile apps. This is very kind of safe, but very suited for what we needed it to do. So we're based on an Umbraco platform, which is what our main website is based on as well. We set up a CMS where we can select the different types of templates we want, the different colors. We can upload as a basic CMS the text, the videos, the content. And then the content is published over the web and stored on local machines. So somewhere in the museum is a big server room with lots of little PCs, and each one of those PCs stores the content and sends it to a specific screen within the museum. And this is really advantageous for our team. There's a huge amount of content going into the galleries, involving curators, filmmakers, content inputters, producers, and we could actually start working on this content before the galleries are accessible. They're still installing stuff right up to the last minute. So we could be creating stuff, prepping stuff, kind of online, away from the gallery space, rather than having to go in and install content on specific machines. But we didn't kind of stop with just in-gallery content. Because we produce so much content, we wanted to use that content for new audiences, so online audiences. On the right here, you'll see this is our Explore section of our website. So loads of the stories that we created for the touchscreens have gone on to the Explore section of the website. There's about 10 games that are in the gallery that we repurposed. We know games are massive drivers of traffic to our website. This little chap up here is a little digital creature and a game that we created with Aardman. He's a sickly little blob called a gen, and you have to diagnose him and treat him and keep him alive using real objects from the museum. So that's an online game that we released. And this mode is also available in the gallery, so in the Fashion and Style gallery. You can get content served to your mobile. It's not an app, it's kind of mobile web. So as you look at different objects, you can get 360-degree views and more information about that. So that was really important to us, if we're putting lots and lots of effort in to actually be able to repurpose and reach new audiences beyond the gallery space. So we've learned a lot from this. I think we didn't quite realise how much effort was involved in content. So it's one thing to think about beforehand, how many people have to be involved. But the initial feedback's been really positive. I think we've achieved our aim of creating a new atmosphere within those spaces of interactivity and engagement. And James said at the start, let's go out and look at other people's stuff. I encourage you afterwards, go have a look at our new galleries, have a look at the digital stuff, and I'll be around afterwards for any questions. The hamster wheel is on level 5 for people. Thank you very much. Oh.
I advise you hamster wheel before lunch, not after lunch, okay?